Yo, Ross and Risky in the building. What up, my guy Ross?
What's good, man? What's going on?
Man, I'm here with a different little setup right now. I had to have some difficulties with the studio that I lovingly call the Melanin Lounge. So I had to come from a different spot. But we here, man. Game 7 NBA Finals counting down. I got a minute 51 left. OKC is up 96-86 at home. It was looking a couple minutes ago like they were gonna blow it, have a complete blowout. They were up like 22 points.
Mm.
Now down to a 10-point game with a minute 50. Nate Neesmith just kicked a cheer as he fouled out. Did he foul out? He kicked a cheer. That's a tech, ain't it? Yeah, that's clearly a foul. It's clearly a foul, Neesmith. Oh, he
Yeah,
just busted it. I get
bad
it,
game.
but it's a foul. Yeah, that's a foul. Fouled out. 30 minutes he played, 3 points, 1 for 5. It's some guys today. We're gonna get to the Halliburton situation. That's the big thing, right, Ross? That Halliburton got injured. Um, I don't want to say I called it, but I alluded to the fact last show that I'm very skeptical when these teams keep diagnosing stuff as calves. I told you, I said, man, every time they say it's a calf, it ends up being an Achilles.
Yeah,
Every
you
time.
called it, sure.
And so, I hated that for him. Halliburton came out and was balling to start the game in the first quarter. He had 9 points. He was 3 for 5 from three to start things off. And then he plants and tries to go and take off, and boom. We'll get to that in a little bit and how we think that could have changed things. But this game today this is like 4 different games we watched today. Because there was the game that started with Halliburton. Then there was the second quarter where the Pacers kind of really took control. They had the lead at halftime. Then there's the TJ McConnell third quarter where he just completely took over the game in the third quarter. TJ McConnell did. And now the fourth quarter, toward the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth, OKC opened up the lead. They're now up 12 with a minute 41 to go. With all that being said, I don't think this has been a very high quality basketball game, in my opinion, Ross.
That's what I was gonna say. I've kind of had a busy day. I've been, looking forward to watching this game beginning. Soon as Halliburton got hurt, it just took the life out of it for me. And then it was actually a good competitive first half. And like you say, once OKC stretched out and went up 20, you know, I, unfortunate that Halliburton got hurt and we didn't get to see each other's best because it was set up to be a dogfight.
Right.
But overall, I gotta say, this has been an underwhelming finals. Even with a game 7, even with it coming down, yeah, I understand that all the narratives around the ratings and all. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Just it's been a little underwhelming. I mean, shout out both teams. Both of them haven't won, so it'll be a first for one or the other. But yeah, I'm not the best basketball. I agree with you. Even with OKC, like they're gonna win tonight, and I don't think they really played a very good game. I don't think they proved too much in this game right here.
Yeah.
Like I said, my pick was Indiana after OKC lost that last one. I said if it goes 7, I'm taking Indiana just because I trust McConnell and Nemhard and Obi, and those guys really showed up. It's just literally, like you say, when your star starts off hot like that, and the game 7, one game take all, and he leaves so early, it's just hard to even just adjust emotionally. So yeah, I think OKC is gonna get away and more than likely win this game, but this ain't really secure to me that OKC was just that much better than them.
Coming out of this championship and especially this game 7, man, I don't want to sound like a full blown hater. I don't mind it. You know me, I don't mind being a hater a little bit, but I'm not as high on SGA as I was coming into the finals. I'll put it that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm down on him.
Nemhard did a great job.
You know what I mean?
Nemhard did a great job.
You know what I mean?
Nemhard did a great job.
It's just you know, like tonight. I don't know what possessed them tonight. So tonight, still some time, 32 seconds left in the game, but the game is clearly over. 8 for 27 from the field, 2 for 12 from three. Why would SGA ever shoot 12 threes?
Pressing.
27 attempts to get 29 points.
I'm gonna tell you who the guy for me for OKC is Caruso.
I was just gonna say they would not win this championship without Caruso.
And
He's
even
the most important player on their team.
McConnell started cooking. They brought in Caruso. Next thing you know, back-to-back turnovers. You know, I think Caruso. I think Jalen Williams. I mean, obviously, more than likely, you say Shea gets the Finals MVP.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So Shea. Well, a lot of people were saying if Williams would have came in and went crazy, then he would have had a little chance. But
no, yeah. Williams was horrible tonight.
Yeah, Williams. So Shea will win Finals MVP. But to me, just summing up the year and really looking at it and on this display, I think they're a young team. You know, they won a lot in the regular season strictly off playing faster and harder than a lot of teams, I think. But they're not going to be the dynasty that people are trying to make them out to be.
I don't see it. I don't see it right now, Ross, to be honest with you.
I don't know. Next year we walk in and say they're the best in the West. I don't know. Yeah, we gotta talk about the West. I see you with your hat on.
What's that? Oh man.
I see you with your hat on. Okay.
Rolex risky, man. I like half of the R's on it. What you trying to say, Ross?
But I don't. You know, you can't take it away from OKC. I mean, they won, but like with this finals, you don't walk away and say, yeah, they were just the best team all year. Like, nah.
Yeah, they won it. I mean, it was an ugly win. I didn't think they played great basketball throughout the finals. They looked scared. It reminded me. I told a buddy of mine, shout out my man Cash, watching SGA tonight. I was like, he looks and he's playing like Tatum played the entire finals last year, where he was just everything was just trying to do too much instead of like everything was you know what I mean?
You remember they lost to Golden State, and you was just like, okay, Tatum, you know, he just ain't quite show up. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna win. I'm not gonna say this one has an asterisk, but like
I wouldn't go that far.
What's right here? You're gonna be like, yeah, OKC won, but it just was a trash off season. Like it was a good playoffs, but as it got later in the playoffs, it was just so many upsets in the East with Indiana getting there. Some just don't feel right. I really feel like Indiana probably should have won this series.
Yeah, and look, I can't blame OKC for taking it. Not I don't want to take advantage, but for playing out, for the way the season played out. But the finals just underwhelming. It happens sometimes. Super Bowls, there have been some Super Bowls where we say, man, the championship games were both great, AFC, NFC, and then the Super Bowl is kind of a dud, right? So we've seen it before. It just wasn't high-level basketball that I didn't see the high-level shot making. I thought everybody kind of looked nervous from OKC for a long time. Without Caruso, I think they lose tonight, even without Halliburton. That's how bad I thought they played. Because again, I'm just going by the numbers at this point. Again, SGA 8 for 27. Jalen 7 for 20. Lou Dort 3 for 10. Caruso, who me and you both thought was a key part of winning the game, was 4 for 10. 10 points. It wasn't like he just went crazy. I mean, he didn't go like nobody really played exceptional. You know what I'm saying? They were fortunate that they had the right opponent in front of them. Then the opponent was wounded, so that made it even better for them. But I'm not gonna rail on their parade. People are going to start discussing this season that SGA had this year. I think you got to pump the brakes. I know everybody be prisoner of the moment, but they're going to say scoring title, MVP, championship, finals MVP. and they're gonna go crazy, start comparing him, and putting him in certain conversations. I think we just got to relax. I think we got to relax a bit, and maybe who knows, Ross? I'm kind of leaning towards you that I don't see this dynasty forthcoming, but maybe now that they got that pressure off with that first one, maybe they come back now with some swagger and some poise, knowing that they've done it before. Because they are still a very, very young team, Ross.
Yeah, they're very young. They got the franchise. Like they still gonna be able to either make some roster changes or keep running it back with all the youth and the guys on younger contracts. They still got the picks. So yeah, they're going in the right direction. But I'm saying, as far as like their role players, how we looked at their young talent, how we looked at those guys, I'm not sure if like this unlocked Jalen Williams. Okay, he's been unlocked. I think Jalen Williams is on his way. He'll make multiple All-Star games. He'll grow into being a star, not a superstar, but he'll be a star. I don't know about Chet. I don't know. Like Lou Dort, you played well, but I don't know. I could see them moving on from him in a year or two. Like, I think Caruso really came in and earned a lot of them guys on the bench. The Casey Wallace kid, he had a little stretch in this game where he played well.
Shots,
but he was bad throughout the whole playoffs.
Yeah, he was bad. But I think going back to Chet real quick, I think I'm just watching the guys. They're showing the guys they're walking off the court. Obviously, Indiana very sad. They got Halliburton there on the crutches, greeting his teammates as they come by. Here goes him and TJ McConnell. TJ goes over and is hugging him right now. He's the only one like clearly breaking down. Everybody else is sad and walking off, but TJ is red faced, crying like a mofo. I get it. He
played his heart out.
He played his heart out. Yeah, he played his heart out. But the Chet thing, I think they're gonna have to move on. Why does SGA have gold shoes around his neck? What is it? These some new shoes? That's a weak ass championship hat. You see that hat?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan. Let me see. Let me get a look. Hold on. Let me get a look.
No, that's weak.
I was gonna try to give it a second chance, Ross. That's weak. What are these shoes about? I guess he got a new. That's a whack ass shoe too. Like this whole.
He got his shoes with Converse. I believe it's Converse.
So I guess this is the new variation color, the all gold joints.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's trash. Yeah, that's not.
They got the zipper. They kind of like the old school gloves, but then he tried to make them like a designer shoe.
I mean, listen, God bless him. Shout out to him. But going back to your Chet point, though, I think they're gonna have to get rid of Hartenstein. I think Chet needs an athletic big next to him. I think he needs like a lively, you know what I'm saying, one of those type guys, a Jared Allen, just a athletic big next to him that he can, because Chet showed me throughout this series, and I know people gonna tell me he's young, yada. He can't rebound, dude. He doesn't do a great. As a team, they don't rebound well.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't rebound the basketball. Chet, it was a play where Chet got a switch with McConnell on him. Instead of going to the block and putting his hand up, Chet backpedaled to the corner and just stood there. Like, what are we doing, bro? You got the smallest guy in the gym on you.
Right.
Like, put your hand up and throw the ball to him. So, yeah, I mean, I say that to say I think Chet played well though. He has some block shots that were good. He's a good shot blocker. He does, make you extend, have to respect him shooting the ball from three. But I do think that's a tweak that I would make on a team. I would get an athletic big to play with Chet to help him a bit, because Hardenstein is a little stiff for me. You know what I'm saying? So let's get an athletic big in there. Lou Dort, I don't know. For the right price, I would keep him. It just, I guess, for me, it would depend what we can do. Caruso is there at all costs. Obviously, Jalen's there. They can make some pickups though this offseason, because they're gonna have to tweak some stuff to keep it rolling. Interesting though. OKC wins the finals, man. With all the talent that they've had there over the years, the MVPs, they've had four guys who have worn that jersey win an MVP. Obviously, not all there, but they've had four guys that literally they drafted that won MVPs. So they know how to go out and find talent.
KD, Russ,
James
Shea, and
Harden.
Williams.
James Harden. Didn't Harden win one? Oh no. I'm tripping with Harden?
At Houston, though, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that like they won
Oh, they drafted.
that OKC drafted. Yeah, OKC drafted.
Yeah.
They drafted, four guys that well, I guess they didn't draft SGA, but he came there basically. He grew up there. He was with the Clippers, and they threw him in a great package, and won an MVP, and now got it done with a Finals MVP as well. What we think come about Indiana? Let's talk about it with the Indiana Pacers now. Some people say it was an improbable run, although they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Got it to a game 7. Halliburton goes down with everybody suspecting an Achilles.
Where do they go? Top of these? Like, do they walk in next year?
No, Ross.
Well, first off,
Halliburton's done for the year. He's not playing next year. So
yeah,
Indiana is not going to be at top of the East because he's done. That's an Achilles. They got to stop. They even say, "Oh, he's done for the game with a lower leg injury." We got to stop this in the NBA. I told y'all last week they keep calling stuff a calf when it's really something is aggravated with the Achilles. I don't know if it's just bad diagnosis or if they just don't want to come out and say it, or if it's a calf strain that's I don't know. But then to say it's a lower leg injury, stop, dude. Stop.
Now, Halliburton might be their guy, but I think next year for Indiana, you kind of in a good position because now next year you get to really see what Nembhard and McConnell should get a bigger role. Mathurin should get a bigger role if he comes back. I believe Rick Carlisle. I think he outcoached all the other coaches all playoffs. But I believe in this game, he should have played Mathurin a little more over Nesmith But you and I have been watching Mathurin. There's something going on where they're not really rocking with him. Because he's
the whole team don't really rock with him, though.
Yeah, he's earned the that he should get the shot to be able to at least go show you he can get some buckets. That boy get buckets. So whatever they do with that, I think next year without Halliburton, you kind of get another free chance to go through like nobody expecting any too much from you. And they'll probably end up still 6 or 7, and then once you're in the playoffs, we see they can scratch and claw. I think Indiana's gonna be one of them teams where a lot of people gonna try to model behind them,
Yeah.
Get cheaper bargain guys, We talked about it. Adding depth. Like both of these teams had the depth where,
I shout out to the Pacers, man. They're done next year though, because he's hurt. It's an Achilles. That's the full year. I'm not as big on TJ McConnell as everybody else. I think I think he maxed him. I mean, how old is he? 32, 33 years old. He's not a spring chicken. He's not like, he's not a young kid. This is exactly what his role has been in the NBA. I guess people didn't watch him when he was in Philly. This is what he did everywhere he goes. He comes in, gives you energy, plays good defense. That's who he is. So
you don't think Nembhard could average 20 next year?
He could, but I mean, it's guys that average points on bad teams. That's what I think. And I'm not that big on Mathurin. I think Mathurin got a little Jordan Poole in him for me. I think Mathurin left alone to his own devices to be out there on some Jordan Poole. I don't think he's that goofy with the basketball. He's a scorer, but I can kind of see some Terry Rozier. That
okay. Well, what about next year with Obi?
Obi played horrible tonight. I think Obi. I told when I was watching the game. I think Obi out of everybody missed Halliburton the most because he's the guy that throws the ball up the floor. And if you're a slasher and an athlete like Obi Toppin, that gets you going, running, catching it, getting some layups, getting a lob, getting a dunk in transition. Now he
Because
gets the rest of his game going.
even though McConnell can come in and score, he's not really a get everybody else. He dribble a bunch and get to a spot.
Yeah, he came in there. I thought personally, this is why I said it was like 4 different games. It was the game that started off with Halliburton. Then it was the Pacers taking control and stabilizing, getting the lead going into the half. Then it became the Halliburton game in the third quarter. At one point in the fourth quarter, I think it was like 2-3 minutes into the fourth quarter, they said the only person that had scored for the Pacers was since 8:32 in the third quarter was McConnell. And I thought McConnell, I think he threw things off though. One thing about team sports, specifically basketball, when you got a way that you play, a structure that you play in, this is our guy. We know Kobe gonna shoot it X amount of times. We know SGA gonna shoot it X amount of times. Now, when your guy goes down, who's your point guard, and the backup comes in, and now like McConnell came in looking for his shot. I think for a time it might have thrown off the rhythm of the team because although he was scoring, nobody else was touching the ball, getting the ball. He was just literally, it was time he was coming just dribbling around the whole court, you know what I'm saying? Looking to get to his spot, kind of chasing points. So I think he kind of threw things out of sorts for a while there until the fourth quarter where they kind of got back rolling. I don't think Siakam ever got back engaged really offensively in the fourth quarter. It was pretty much just Mathurin, Nesmith, you know what I mean? It just became very one-on-one for them for Indiana. So I don't know what happens. I mean, they're going to lose, and it's probably addition by subtraction, but they're going to lose Turner. That's a great thing. He was horrible this whole entire series. Playoffs, really.
Yeah.
Toppin gave you 0 points tonight in 20 minutes. That's not what you were expecting. You know, me and you've been praising Obi Toppin all playoffs. So maybe, like I said, I think he missed Halliburton tonight. Trying to think anybody else. Mathurin, I know you talk about his minutes. He did play 33 minutes, 22 points, 6 of 14. I mean, he was the only one that was really efficient. Him and TJ McConnell was 8 for 13. Hell, he played more minutes than McConnell. McConnell only played 28 minutes. Mathurin played 33.
Remember, I was saying when Halliburton got hurt that he should have been the one that come in the lineup.
You did, yep. Turner only played 24 minutes, 6 points. My God.
Terrible. How many rebounds?
4 rebounds.
Terrible.
Yeah, if you're Indiana, and here's where I think they may fall into a bad trap, Ross, as an organization, if they don't make some moves. Because here's what they can lie and tell themselves this whole offseason. Man, if Halliburton don't get hurt, do we really think, like, because if you were told them, so here's what happened in game 7. Nesmith had 3 points, Turner had 6, Toppin had 0, and Halliburton got hurt in the first quarter. They thinking, damn, all that, like, those 3 guys we didn't expect that to happen, plus Halliburton getting hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Lost by 10 or 12, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? They're going to look like, you know what? Hell, if Halliburton don't get hurt and if they make a couple of shots, we win the championship. But I think it's just difficult to think that way because you got to remember how you got there. All those buzzer beaters, those last-second shots. You know what I'm saying? All that went your way to get here. So, yeah, it's I'd make some moves. If I'm both teams, I would make some not major. I guess it would. Would you consider it major if they moved on from Hartenstein? Because he is making like 20-some million, I think.
Yeah, he's one of the higher paid on that roster.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider it major though, just because he's still kind of like a behind the scenes role player. Like even though you pay him that money, you still don't ask much of him.
Right.
So no, I think there is a consistency, and then kind of like with Hartenstein, I don't know too much about him, but I just know he do all the little things. So it's like a grit in him.
Yeah.
Where you got to replace that with the right fix. If you get somebody that might be a little bit more talented than him, but ain't going to do all the diving for
loose. Oh, shit, hold on. Jalen Williams won the Finals MVP? Hold on, who got the Finals MVP?
Who?
Did Jalen Williams get it? Or they just passing it around. Did Jalen Williams get the final MVP?
Oh, Shea might have pulled that. You know what I'm saying? You know how they do.
Where he passed it around?
Yeah.
Because there's no way that Shea didn't get it. Okay, yeah, Shea got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, bro. He averaged like 30 some points a game in the finals. You know what I'm saying? Okay, my bad.
But yeah, you just got to replace him with the right type of guy. You might be able to find somebody more talented, but can you find somebody with the same grit as Hartenstein?
Yeah, because you gotta see Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to Shea. Um, I would Caruso for me is an untouchable. It's the three guys, right? Jalen, SGA, and Chet. That's their core. I think I would add Caruso as an untouchable this offseason. If I get some calls on other guys, I might listen. I really like Lou Dort, but if I get a call on him, I would listen to see what the package is. You know what I'm saying, Paul? So
Mm-hmm.
I would hear him out. I would hear him out. Let's get to what you want to get to, though. We'll get back to this. Let's get to what
Real
you want to
quick
get to.
before we get there, that's what I want to get to for sure.
Yeah, I already know.
uh, as of right now, these two teams, are you like where are you putting them in their respective conference? Like what? So early looking at it, OKC, you think they're in the position to next year do the same thing, win 68 games? You know what I'm saying? Be back a number one seed, or do you think uh there will be a fall off?
I think they'll be right back here again. Maybe not 68 games. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. I don't think people understand. That's a lot of games. It's almost the damn near 70 games they won. So
Yeah.
that's difficult to win that many games. Multiple years. Chet most in NBA Finals Game 7. He had 5 blocks, most in NBA Finals Game 7 in history. Unbelievable. But yeah, I think they'll be back here again just because the style that they play and that youth, they're gonna just beat a lot of teams. So I think they'll be a number. I think they'll be 1 or 2 again in the West next year.
Okay.
Indiana, they're gonna be down, but I can see them being 1 or 2 in the West again. But
Okay.
to your Hardenstein point, you do need him because you got to see Joker at some point.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need a big with some size.
And he just physically does what Chet can't do, even though Chet got more tools. You know, Chet ain't taking that bump. You know what I'm saying? Hartenstein ain't running from that bump.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All
Yeah.
right, let's go, man. Because I know that you want to talk your talk, and we're gonna talk about it. Y'all can jump in the chat. Let us know what y'all think about tonight's game, man, and the finals as a whole. Look, you trying to get it going? Here we go, man.
Hey,
Here we
sound.
go. News of the day was that Kevin Durant traded to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and the number 10 pick in the draft. We procure the services of one Kevin Durant, who will be coming to the H. You seem excited about it, very excited about
You
it.
seem excited too. You got the hat on.
I
I
mean,
never seen that one.
it's my
I ain't
city,
seen
though.
you wear that one in a long time. He ain't worn that since T Mac and Yao. Stop playing.
Hey,
I don't even got that logo no more.
hey, we feeling good in the city.
Nah.
We feeling good in
Shout
the
out
city.
Houston, man. I think it's a great move. I think we kind of saw it in the playoffs. They was playing without Jalen Green. Jalen Green went missing. I think after that, the writing kind of was on the wall. I think Dylan Brooks, he's somebody who kind of earned he earned his keep in the league. I think when he got sent to Houston, a lot of people was laughing at the contract he did. Dylan Brooks showed his value. He earned the chance to go back to Phoenix and play a little bit of a bigger role. I think it helps both teams. Even though KD's is miles better than Jalen Green. I
Yeah.
think for what Phoenix needs, they need somebody where Devin Booker can go be the alpha. So now you bring in Jalen Green, Devin Booker's back being the alpha. I think Green might even be a little better off being a second or third option, anyways, after what we saw in the playoffs. So I think it helps both teams. I think it puts Houston in that top of the West. They was kind of flirting on that line all year this year. I think, of course, KD with Ime Doku and the defense around him still, like what they was able to keep in this trade, I think that says a lot more. You was able to keep Tari Eason,
Yeah.
Jabari Smith, uh,
Thompson.
uh, Thompson, Van Fleet. You got Reed Shepard, who a lot of people are saying next year they're gonna take the handlebars off him. You got you was able Cam Whitmore still, who was behind Jalen Green, kind of not getting no shine because Jalen Green was there. Sengun, you was able to keep all that. So you look at kind of what we were talking about. Houston was so deep last year. You bring in KD. This might be the first time we've seen KD get traded to a team that wasn't decimated after the trade. They're gonna
That's
be
true.
still 7, 8 deep,
That's true.
legit. Like normally when KD come in, that's the problem because it decimates your team.
Yeah. Yeah. Your depth, all your depth is gone.
Nah, y'all got plenty of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, typically when he comes there, the depth is the depth from those teams
Yeah,
leave, but Houston keeps it. I give this trade a meh, meh.
stop it, bro.
Be a cool jersey to go get. You know what I'm saying? Be a cool
So
jersey.
right now with the starting lineup, we'll just play GM and we'll say Van Fleet, Thompson, KD, Jabari, or Tari Eason, whichever one you want, and Sengun.
See, here's the deal. I know Sengun was the one that made the All Star team this year, but people gotta understand what they just lost to bring in a 37, 38-year-old Durant. We're not getting 27-year-old Durant. We're getting a 37, 38-year-old Durant, number one. Number two, no matter what everybody thinks about him, you just lost your leading scorer from last season, which is Jalen Green. Led the team in scoring last year.
Right, but you can close your eyes and write 25 for K.
I'm
We
just telling
say
you,
KD have a average year, and that's 25.
I'm just telling you what you lost. You lost your leading scorer, and you lost, if not your best, then maybe
Did
Thompson,
he
your
make
best
the All
defender.
Star game?
No, he didn't. SGA, what you call him made it. Shangun made it. People were saying that Jalen probably should have made it, but Shangun made it. But you lost, so you lost your leading scorer, and if not your best, then your second best defender in Brooks. Kevin Durant's not going to pick up that defensive slack. We know what Kevin Durant is. He's a sniper. Um, but I just don't know how much better this makes you.
But you get more length now.
Okay.
I think that was a problem with y'all. Now you get length. So like Golden State, not the way we was able to see Golden State kind of play. They was having to bring in Steven Adams. Now you got KD, you got Jabari who's 6'10, you got KD who's 6'10, and you got Sengun. Your 3, 4, 5. Now Draymond who you gonna guard, Draymond?
He gonna guard Sengun like he did. That's what
And
he did.
who gonna okay, and he could do that and not worry about Jalen Green because Jimmy took on Jalen Green.
Well, to be fair to
Who's gonna take on the task to chase that 37-year-old man that you talk about?
Jalen Green, who I have no problem with kicking his back in, he can take him and his old baby mama with him.
Fingernail painting hoe
Yeah, he
ass nigga.
can go. Him and his old lady can go. But I'm just saying though, to be fair to him, when he actually made shots, he went crazy. Had like almost a 40 ball, and they blew him out. I'm just saying when he made shots. Now he just
Right,
wasn't.
they was able to. We gonna throw Jimmy on you, and we know you
But I
ain't
don't
built.
think that he. I think that his thing wasn't about him getting locked up though. I just think that
He
like he just
shot the ball 6 times.
That's my point. But it wasn't like he was getting locked where he couldn't get shots off. He was just playing scared. Like he just didn't know what the fuck to do. Like they won't have that. To your point, though, I agree. They won't have that problem with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, you can pencil him for 25, no matter what's going on. You can pencil him in for minimal 25 points, minimal.
So now with Sengun, yeah, they're gonna, yeah, okay. Draymond can say I got him, or we can say even in this example with OKC, yeah, you can throw Chet or Hardenstein in there to rough up Sengun. You can't throw Lou Dort at KD.
Why not?
He's too short. He's
So
shooting
what?
he's shooting over you every time.
I love this. Hold on. I love this conversation because, you know, as a guy who tells y'all LeBron is the GOAT, I love this conversation right now because here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. So here's
You
what I'm
can't
telling
throw
you.
Caruso at KD.
Hold on. Here's all I'm telling you. The Rockets are supposed to. Kevin Durant needs to take the Rockets to the championship next year. It's championship or bust for the Rockets.
I believe so.
There we go. That's all. That's what I like to hear. It's championship or bust for the Rockets. There we go.
I think depending on the rest of the moves. Now, if
no, we don't need no more moves. We got Kevin bleeping Durant.
If Minnesota made it, if Minnesota made a move, or if Golden State got Giannis or something, like you never know what else.
Who cares? Whoa, time out. You got Kevin bleeping Durant. I don't care who nobody else got. We got Kevin Durant.
I'm saying what it is it's a free flowing.
Because
KD got traded, so now I put y'all at the top.
When KD back in the day went to Golden State, nobody said, "Oh man, hey man, well KD went to Golden State, so LeBron, hey man, you ain't supposed to win no chips." No, if you
but if LeBron would have, if Kobe would have went to play with LeBron, then you say, okay, now I'm taking LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
Not taking nothing. No,
if Giannis goes to Golden State or Denver, then you gonna say I'm taking Denver. You know what I'm saying? If Giannis found a way to go to Denver, then we taking Denver. Or if Giannis go to Golden State, then we taking Golden State. That's if the Lakers get Giannis, then we taking. You know, it's still
championship or bust though. It's still championship or bust for the Rockets though.
I think as of now they're at the top of the West. Yes, I think as of now.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm really thinking this gonna be a crazy offseason where we see a shift. Like I think with OKC winning tonight, I think the league really, this is not one of those situations where you're like when the Lakers won, you like, oh man, like I don't foresee this stopping no time soon. You know, when they was all young and they won that first one, you know, I see the league, it's gonna be a lot of teams aggressive and making these moves because they kind of see it as wide open rather than you know, when it was Golden State and Cleveland and it was two dominant juggernauts and you kind of knew you really ain't have a chance. Like I feel like every team feels like they're one or two pieces away. So Houston did the right thing by making this move.
I mean, look, again, I like the move because they weren't going to win anything with the pieces they had. So it wasn't like with what they had as constructed, they had a shot at winning the chip. My only thing is I think after the move, I think they're in the same exact spot. I still don't think they have a chance at winning the chip.
They're definitely better, bro.
So, okay, let me ask you a question. Who's the best player on their team?
KD Sengun. Who was the best player last year?
I'm asking you.
Who was the best player last year? Before I answer.
I'm going to take the guy that made the All-Star team. I'm going to take Sengun. Or you can take Jalen. He led the team in scoring. So which one you like?
I think Sengun was the best. I think he's still going to be the best. I think that's why I can trade him.
That's what I thought that you would say is that Sengun is the best player on the team. Now, I don't think any team in the NBA with Sengun as their best player can win a championship.
Right, but if KD's your second best player on the team, who's the better second best guy than KD?
When you're saying KD,
who would have the best second option?
You want me to give you? I can give you an answer. You're not gonna like it.
LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron. See. I can
LeBron averaged 27 last year.
Yeah, LeBron had his team in the playoffs, and Kevin Durant didn't make the play-in.
Right, but LeBron wasn't the best. KD was the best player on his team last year. He about to be the second best player on his team this year.
Okay, and LeBron's a better second player
When
than he
if
is.
LeBron would have been the best player on the Lakers, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. They had to go get the young kid, which
I
is
don't know
why
what they would have did. I don't know
which
what
is
they
why
would have did.
they did, which is why they went and brought a top 5 guy
I
in
don't
the
know what they
playoffs.
would have did. I still got the Lakers better than the Rockets next year. If they play in the playoffs, I'm taking I'm taking the Lakers in 5.
You crazy as
Lakers in 5.
who gonna guard?
Is anybody going is
Roy,
anybody
stop.
going to try to recreate this tonight in the OKC locker room?
Hold on, y'all. This we gotta hold him accountable when he say stuff like this.
Yeah.
So we watched y'all. Y'all played 5 dudes for the whole game. Them 5 dudes was Austin Reeves, Luca, LeBron, Rui, and who was the 5th? I don't even think y'all had a center. Y'all don't have nobody on that lineup that can guard Katie. Y'all don't have nobody on that lineup that can guard Sengun. Neither one. It'd be a field day. Y'all get swept.
Let's see how the offseason works out.
Y'all get swept.
Let's see how the offseason works out.
Stop it.
We would have
JJ gave up on the whole bench. You got to get rid of that.
Ross, you act like the Lakers were not the 3 seed.
Roy, we saw JJ give up on the whole team.
I'm not.
Game 3.
I don't disagree with you, but the Lakers were the 3 seed.
Right, y'all were a 3 seed, and he didn't like your players enough that he wouldn't play nobody else.
Listen,
so y'all, so what that means?
He's not a good coach.
All them guys on the bench that wasn't good enough to play at all of them got to go because your coach don't trust them.
I agree.
Right. So y'all have a whole rebuild coming up.
No, those are bench players. Those are bench players, role players. See, what and y'all are trying to
playoffs about the bench are the ones
we in Houston, what we have to do is we got to try to figure out how to take one of the greatest scorers in the history of the NBA. How does this young team fit around KD? What does the offense look like now? The offense has been going.
KD's always been a guy that you just plug. That's the best part about KD. You just plug him in. The same shots Jalen Green was taking, the bad ones, now you get good ones.
Okay, so
how many shots did Jalen Green average last year?
Here's the deal, though. Because you're talking about a bunch of. You're trying to expand all these young guys' role, though. So you're gonna now all of a sudden a rookie that didn't play, you're gonna play Shepherd now. Now you're gonna expand the role of what's the other kid that came off the bench? Smith, Jabari. You want to expand his role now, right? You're hoping over the offseason that Thompson's not an offensive threat like that, dude. Like his offensive game is still developing. He's a defender.
I don't think he's going to be. I think with KD now, Thompson can be, okay, you're going to pick up and you're going to rim run. You're going to get dunks. You're going to get out in transition.
Yeah, you think too much of KD right now, Lord. KD is the Aaron Rodgers of basketball.
No, because look, right here, your boy Jalen Green, he shot 17.5 field goals. He averaged 21 points last year. If you give KD 17.5 field goals a game, a simple just replace. You give KD 17.5 field goals a game, that's 25. And we already know he's going to get to the line. He's going to shoot 6-7 free throws a game.
Yeah, you think this is 27-year-old KD, I see. That's what I'm saying. You think this is – huh?
He averaged 27 last year.
On a horrible team.
Right, but it wasn't
– terrible team.
Roy, okay. Since he left Golden State from 2020 to now, he's been at 27 a game.
Okay.
It's been the same. What's the percentage? 52.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about the squad. I told you can pencil him in for minimum 25. I don't disagree with that.
From the field.
What I'm talking about is all the other stuff. You're talking about all this, how he's going to expand. He's not doing any of that other stuff. Rebounding, defense, rim running the floor. He's strictly a scorer. That's it.
No, and that's why I say Thompson. That you said Thompson's not an offensive threat.
He's not.
Now you can take the ball out of Thompson's hand offensively, where we both said he was kind of pressing last year in the playoffs. You can take the ball out of his hands and tell him, "Hey Thompson, you gonna run, you gonna get it in transition. If it's not transition, get it going backdoor cutting."
Paul.
Now Thompson don't have to be a dominant ball handler. Now where Van Fleet, who played well for y'all, came up short.
Did he play well? Man?
Van Fleet was pretty much our best dude in the playoffs. He might have played the best out of everybody.
He had 2 games where he made some threes. Yeah.
Y'all lost in what, 5?
Yeah, I'm cool on Van Fleet. You do know we're paying Van Fleet over $40 million a year, right?
Right, but you had to keep him. We
don't have to keep him at all.
No, you had to keep him to just stabilize the offense. You had to keep him. That's who I believe he would have really helped Phoenix, but they ain't want to include him. So with Van Fleet, he averaged 19 in the playoffs.
But for the season, he averaged 14 points, 5 assists on 37% shooting. And we're paying that man $40 million. Insanity.
Okay, and then in the playoffs, it raised. He averaged 19, and he shot 43 from 3, which is good. And then Jalen Green dropped from 19 points to whatever he averaged.
But that's my point, though. The young dude, it's difficult, and you're asking a bunch of young guys, Smith, Shepard, Thompson. You're asking a bunch of young dudes, even Şengün, who's young. You're asking a bunch of young dudes to grow up overnight in order for this team to be a championship quality team. And I just don't know.
It's not overnight. You went to Golden State. You lost in 7 last year, first round. Okay.
Yeah, you were a 2 seed. And you lost.
Right.
That's not a good look.
Because their leading scorer shot the ball 6 times.
Agreed.
He went from shooting the ball 17 and a half times to 6 times.
And you got rid of him now.
Right. So now when you give these 17 shots to KD, we write in 26 instead of 6. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just telling you, I just know playing with scores is a different game. The game is different than we just plug and play. It's different. You're spacing. You got to figure out the shots he wants to shoot.
But he's not a gunner. He's not a. You act like he's playing like you finna play with Ant. Like no,
I'm not saying he's a gunner, but you still have to figure out all of that because like those other guys, what do any of those other guys do? We don't know. We have no clue how Reed Shepard's going to play. We don't know what he wants to do, how he's going to do. He don't even know yet. Because Şengün, you still got to throw it out in there to Şengün. He got to get.
And I think that's why you had to keep. And I think that's why you had to keep Van Fleet. I think that's.
No, you didn't. Nobody wanted
scored the maturation of Reed Shepard. I think Reed Shepard is of that same build.
What did the Rockets? They traded the 10th pick away. I think it
was 16. Was it 16?
No, it's the 10. The 10th.
It was 10.
Yeah, but this is not a deep draft necessarily to me, unless somehow they thought maybe they could get the kid. The one kid that they talking about is not taking meetings. What's my kid? What's my dude's name? Ace Bailey. Unless maybe Ace Bailey could have fell to you. You know what I'm saying? This ain't really a deep draft. So by the time you get to 10, you know what I'm saying? You kind of fishing anyway. It's not nothing. I don't think that's going to help you this year.
I think they got so much youth that even like drafting Reed Shepard, like we all know the kid can ball, but they're in that position like we were in Orlando. You got so many young guys drafting another young guy, unless it's a top 3 pick, it's not really going to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Look at Minnesota this year. They made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. They come back. They did make a swap out, bring in Randall for Cat. But now what you also were banking on was those young guys growing up and playing a little bit better. And they really didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? When you look at them, when you look at how they play, you're like, we thought we were going to get more from
no. I ain't gonna really put on the young guys. I think with Minnesota, because Alexander Walker played his ass off. Nas Reed was a little
Right.
underwhelming.
Ross, over the course of the playoffs, he had 2 good games
No,
offensively.
I think it was more Randall played well.
Randall played well the entire playoffs until the conference finals.
Yeah, I think Randall played well, but Ant with
Ant
all
played
year,
well up until probably the conference finals as well. He had
he
some bad
played
games
bad.
in the conference finals.
He played bad though. Ant
I can
played
tell you.
well. I think it was the same as when he hit the wall when he spoke too much and Kyrie had to humble him.
No,
I
what
think
it was that he was getting in trouble. They were blitzing, they were doubling him. When he was throwing it out to the other guys, they were not getting it done. So then he tried to force the issue. Those guys didn't play well. I'm telling you, if you go back and watch it, go back and watch it. Nas Reed had a horrible playoff run.
he
He had
had a
like,
bad playoffs.
but that's what I'm
DiVincenzo
saying.
and that was my guy.
That's what I'm saying. Houston now has got a bank on, can these young kids come in and grow up? And are they gonna be able to play? Can they now get in these we haven't seen we haven't seen Shepard in the playoffs yet. We haven't seen what Jabari Smith is going to do with extended time in the playoffs. Is Thompson going to still play? I thought Thompson played very well for his first playoff showing. Can that continue? I'm just saying we got to see it again. Şengün, I think Şengün is the new Sabonis. I think he has a very clear ceiling. He has a very defined ceiling for how good he can be.
Right.
And I think it's whatever people think about Sabonis, in my opinion, that's who Şengün is.
Or kind of like, you know who he reminds me of, who y'all ain't gonna like this, but Orlando when we had Vucevic and he was young.
Yeah. I'm with
Vucevic
you.
was nice.
Yeah. Because I see people talking about, people got to understand the history of Houston Rockets big men. We got a real lineage down there of big men. You know what I'm saying? In Houston. Biggie, Elvin Hayes. You got we got 4 we got 1, 2, 3.
Hey y'all, now it's me. Now it's
yeah, my Rockets. My Rockets. You know what I'm saying?
now it's me.
We got Ralph Sampson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone, Yao Ming. We got real. Y'all talk about the Lakers big men all the time. What about the Rockets big men? We got some real giants at our big men.
Charles Barkley.
We got some real bosses as our big man, dude. Don't try to put Şengün in that space. That's unfair to him. That's unfair to him. I'm not even saying Dwight Howard. He wasn't there long enough for us to consider him a real Rocket.
Yeah. So I like it though. I definitely like it. I like it for KD.
Good luck.
And then I think you discount Ime. I think Ime.
Man, we gonna stick some hoes on Ime. That nigga gonna be all distracted.
See, are you really a Houston fan or you just trolling?
He gonna be all
trolling, y'all. I think he trolling,
y'all. No, you know me how I'm hard on my Houston teams when we make certain moves. I told you I didn't like for my Texans. I didn't like the Diggs move, and now they got up out of that. Shout out to them for that. This whole KD move, I just think it's a lateral move. I don't think it makes us better. I didn't think we were a championship team this year. I don't think we're a championship team going into the next year. I think we'll be good. I think Houston will be a top 4 team in the in the regular season. I don't think that they're a championship team though.
I think that's a tough out now when you got to go deal with, because they still gonna be dogs defensively. Like that's
take these guys. I'll take these guys, man. Give me them if they match up with Houston.
No, they don't though.
Okay. I'll take my chances with Lou Dort on a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. I'm just gonna take my chances. I'm sorry. I got to. I'm gonna take my chances, Ross. I'm gonna take my chances with it. I am. Because who else is gonna score? See, my thing with the Rockets, where do
the be just like how Siakam played all series? OKC had no.
Where do the points come from Houston, Ross?
So
Şengün, what, 18 to 20?
I think next year. 26? I think next year Şengün will average 20 to 22. I think KD average 25. I think Thompson will give you 18 to 20.
No, sir. Bob. Hell no. What did he average this year?
He had to average like 15 this year.
What did he average this year?
Amen Thompson. This year he averaged 14.
Nah, he ain't jumping 4 points. That's a lot of points. He ain't
You
jumping.
don't think it goes up?
Nah, hell no.
So what you think Dylan Brooks was what you Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green combined was probably what? Let's see.
Well, Jalen Green led them in scoring. So you talking about what they combined for?
Jalen
Jalen
Green
Green
averaged 21 points.
he led
And
them in
Dylan
scoring.
Brooks averaged 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Thompson his 14 jumps to 17, 18. I think KD gives you 25. I think they'll be a much better offensive team. I think even the way Jalen Green
Better off,
played.
but they hung their hat on. See, that's my point though. They hung their hat on defense. See, now we're bringing in KD. I'm not saying KD can't defend. That's never been really his hallmark. And now he's 37, 38 years old. Even if he's playing defense, I mean,
KD ain't never really make a team worse defensively though.
Okay, but they're not going to be as good as they were last year defensively.
Hold on, man. Hold on. This play. So we look at the postseason. Just look at the postseason. Sengun led them in scoring. Sengun averaged 21 and 12. Van Fleet averaged 19. Thompson averaged 16. Jalen Green averaged 13 in the postseason. Dylan Brooks averaged 12. Them two combined is going to be 25 from KD.
Okay.
Tari Eason will get more of an opportunity. I expect him to take a jump. I think him defensively, he'll be one of those guys. He can shoot the three. He's athletic.
You a glass half full dude. So you just gonna take everybody's numbers is gonna increase. Nobody's numbers are gonna stay the same or go down. Everybody's numbers just stay. Everybody's numbers go up.
If anybody's numbers go down, it'll be Van Fleet.
I think he averaged 14 points last year. How much?
Right, but he averaged 19 in the playoffs. I
don't care about that playoffs. That because
playoffs. I'm only looking at playoffs. In the playoffs, they averaged 104 points a game. That's
with
not
the playoffs though. That's about matchups and we had an 82 game sample size, and he gave us for our $40 million. He gave us 14 points a game. So that's why if they match up with the Thunder next year, the Rockets, give me the Thunder, man. Give me the Thunder. I think the Thunder have. The more we talk through tonight's show, the more I might have the Thunder repeat. God damn it! At first, I had them at no chance of repeating. Now, Boston's not going to be back next year.
Okay, let me ask you: if the Knicks met the Thunder in the finals, you think they beat the Knicks the way they played?
They beat the Knicks in 5.
I don't think so. I think they was timid. I think the lights would have been really too bright. I think they benefited from it being Indiana. I think they kind of showed some scare, some fear.
They were very. It was the most. I've said this a bunch of times, but this was the most. At any given time in this NBA Finals, 8 of the 10 players on the floor were playing scary and nervous. It was the most remarkable thing I've ever seen in my life. Watching this.
Could you imagine if they had to go to NY to deal with that?
Here's the difference, though, Ross. Here's why I think the NY series would have ended in 5. The style that they play, that Jalen Brunson is going dribble. That plays in the OKC's defensive style. Now you got Lou Dort sitting in the chair. You got Caruso sitting in the chair. You got all these guys that we can come in there wireless. We got all these guys that now we know what the job is. That's why they were able to beat. I thought they were able to beat Minnesota so easily. We know what the job is. It's going to be Ant coming down here trying to get some. We know we got to do. With Indiana, the great thing about them is they don't really have an offensive style. I'm talking about in terms of like half-court offense. Their whole thing is getting the ball up court, playing fast, Halliburton pushing it, running it up court, Neesmith throwing up deep threes, Nembhard throwing up threes, Halliburton throwing up threes, Siakam running the floor, blocking shots. I just think that with the Knicks, it would have been we understand where everything is coming from. We know what Cat wants to do. We know, you know what I'm saying? We know what these guys want to do. So I just think that I think that plays into their defense. And they really couldn't lock their defense on any one thing with Indiana.
Would they have beaten Boston?
Not a healthy Boston. I would have taken a healthy Boston to beat them, though. Just because I think Boston has two guys offensively, plus I think they had a number of defensive bodies that they can throw at SGA. So they would have had Brown played SGA, White would have guarded SGA, Drew Holiday would have guarded SGA. Who else? It'd have been one. They got one more guy. Pritchard probably would have got somebody at SGA.
I
Right.
think Boston sitting back looking like y'all got off easy this year. I think they have the flexibility, and if you go back and you look, Boston has always been real aggressive and not afraid to make a move.
But we talking 2 years away from that. But we're not talking next year. Boston's out of it. No Jason Tatum. You got no.
You don't know what they're gonna do with Jaylen Brown.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like all that, like we're with the Celtics. We're talking 2 years from now though. Them, because I don't know. I don't even know how the Thunder are gonna look 2 years from now. So we got to see. But I don't think it's.
You think Tatum's out for a year?
What is wrong with y'all, bro? These are Achilles. What y'all think people just bounce
Dude's
back?
coming back from those, man.
Huh?
Dude's coming back from those, bro.
I'm not saying you're not coming back. You're not coming back like
bro.
He's not playing in October.
Right, but he could play by Christmas.
I don't know. I don't see it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Bro, that shit was almost a month and a half ago.
I know you were an Aaron Rodgers fan, and I know Aaron Rodgers told y'all
already a month and a half ago.
I know you were an Aaron Rodgers fan, Ross, and I know Aaron Rodgers told y'all that he could have played. Aaron Rodgers and they got y'all fooled and think that you can just go to a dark cave and you good from Achilles. That's not how this works, bro. It is a period that you got to get yourself back. I don't think he's playing by Christmas.
Bro, if you think about it, that shit happened a month and a half ago.
Okay.
It's the end of June. That shit happened end of April. So you think about it, by October, that would be 6 months. He'll be back. By October, he'll be back working out. They're gonna take their time. They're not gonna play him at the beginning of the year. By Christmas time, he'll be back.
So I'm reading right now. They say it can vary. They say the range for recovery is 6 to 12 months. I'm looking at 6 to 12 months. That's what AI told me. 6 to 12.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he in the NBA. He's gonna get the best care, but also he's the franchise.
Look up the stem cell. You know what I'm saying? You know what he's gonna go do.
He's gonna go over to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan finna give him some good stuff to take.
He's gonna do what Kobe did.
Kobe went over there to Germany, got that blood spun. Yeah, I like OK. Right now, I would give, if I had to put a percentage on it, I would give OKC a 40% chance to repeat. And I think that's a very high percentage for me right now. Because I'm going sight unseen at this point with the rest of the league. And right now, if I just had to handicap it, I would say a 40% chance. Because I'm thinking about the East. I don't see any threats out of the East. Boston won't be there. Indiana won't be there. Even if Milwaukee keeps Giannis, well, hell, Dame just tore his Achilles. So you got that. Like, who the hell is in the East? Is it going to be the Knicks?
Giannis might have to go to New York.
But they don't even got a coach. They don't even got a coach.
Yeah.
So who knows what's gonna happen in New York? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel any issues in the East. You go out west. Well, I take that. You know what? I take that back. There is a team in the East.
Orlando.
Goddamn Magic. Goddamn Magic. That might be the team in the East next year. Because they're gonna get the big fella back. He was hurt. They're gonna get him back. Ben Caro, he started off the year kind of banged up, so hopefully he comes into the season healthy. Now you just got Desmond Bane, a great shooter. So maybe that, if I had to take a team right now in the East, I would probably look at the Knicks and the Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals. If I had to pick right now, who else do you see outside of those two in the conference finals? Because again, Boston's banged up, Milwaukee, Indiana, Halliburton just got hurt. Like, Atlanta, Philly, I mean, Philly was hurt. Philly was hurt last year.
What if Philly just makes a full 3-6? Well, I think Embiid and Paul George just got to determine to be grown men and play. I think over there they got a deeper rooted problem. But yeah, the East is really wide open if you really look at it, and it's a few teams in the West. I think it's gonna be fun to see free
Who you like
agency.
in the West? Let's go through the West. So who you think is a threat in the West? Obviously, Denver, they got the Joker, so they're always a live threat because they got Joker.
See, I don't really thank them because I think they fired their coach, and then roster wise, they don't really have no youth.
They took OKC 7 games,
But they don't have no youth. It's
Okay.
crazy they still took them 7 games.
They did take them 7 games.
You know me, I'm gonna say Dallas.
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
gonna say
forgot you believe in that Dallas stuff. Okay, I
I'm gonna
forgot.
say Minnesota.
Nah, I think they cool. I think they dominate Minnesota, but
I think
Minnesota got to make a move. I like Dallas. I think Dallas is more of a threat than Minnesota.
I think Minnesota makes a move.
Okay, if they make a move, I'm with you then. If they make a
I
move,
think Minnesota makes a move. I
Who you
think Rudy's on the market.
well, I heard that they were in line for KD. It was Rudy, it was a pick, and it was one of the young kids. Not I think they it was either Nas or Walker plus what's the young boy, the rookie?
Terrence Shannon,
Not Shannon. The other guy they got. What's the kid?
Rob Dillingham,
Yeah, I think it was Dylan. I think it was Gobert, Dillingham, and either
and Nas or Alexander.
Nas or Walker. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know what I mean.
and like, see, I could see a move like that. Maybe you don't bring in a KD over there, but if if Jaylen Brown, I would be reaching out to Boston. Now you pair up Ant with a Jaylen Brown. I like that. I like that. It could be you know, I think Miami was real aggressive in trying to get KD. I
They
want
were.
to see. I want to see what Miami does since they weren't able to. I saw the guys they didn't want to include in the trade was Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, and then Haywood or whatever Highsmith. They didn't want to get rid of those 3, so it looked like Hero, might be on the block. So like if Tyler Hero could take a team over. Like if Golden State could get Hero and not have to depend on Buddy Hield, that would be cold.
Let me tell you something else I heard out of Phoenix as well. A source over there in Phoenix is saying he guarantees that Bradley Beal will not play for the Suns next year. He said that he will either he's either going to waive his no trade clause or they're going to buy him out.
I don't feel like he's a needle mover at this point.
Well, when you say a needle mover, let me give you a scenario.
Unless he was to go to Minnesota.
Well, I was going to say, what if he just goes and you can plug him in on one of these teams, and now all of a sudden, no, he don't got to be your first or second option, none of that. He can just go out there and just be a shooter, creator, do his thing. Like you said, like a Minnesota.
If he would have had DiVincenzo's minutes in Minnesota, they would have been a lot better off.
Mm-hmm.
Or Bradley Beal in New York to take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands.
I don't know if he could fit, but what with the money, I don't know how the money will look. But what if he can get to Dallas? So you'll have Cooper Flag on a rookie contract, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. You got Bradley Beal. You got who's a shooter. You got Klay Thompson. I don't know what Klay's money gonna be looking like and all that. I don't think he's there. Klay's probably gone, but you got Brad because you're gonna need shooting. That's what I'm saying. Like one thing we know, Bradley, at least what he's supposed to be able to do is be able to shoot the basketball. So I'm just trying to put him in the place.
But then you add another old guy. I think they need some youth. Denver for sure could have used.
Definitely use him. Because like you would think he gets those Westbrook minutes maybe now.
What does Denver do with Michael Porter Jr.?
They gotta Michael Porter Jr. I think in my opinion is one of those guys where he's so talented and he's 6'10" and can play. You just gotta bite the bullet and keep him. Like, what are you gonna do? Trade him?
but not
Like,
playing them in the playoffs is not good
yeah, but
enough.
we'll figure out. I hope going forward now that this coach, is he going? I think he just got hired full time. Let's see how he handles it now, because I mean, I listen, Ross. At the end of the day, the guy's 6'10", can jump, can run, can shoot the three really well. Like, you gotta keep guys like that.
If he went to LA, he would put y'all over the top.
If he went to LA, we would be in love with him. Pause. Like,
Yeah, he would put
like,
y'all
because
over
like
the
if you
top.
trade him, who do you trade him for? Like, I don't know. Are there any other 6 foot? Because like, he makes them good. Like you're talking about with Houston with the length. That's why he makes them good, because he's not just a shooter. He's a 6'10" shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's different than bringing in a 6'4". Like Jalen Green going to Boston. I'm sorry, going to Phoenix. He's like 6'4", 6'3". You know what I'm saying? It's like, I like Jalen. He's a hell of an athlete. We know that. But he's 6'4", 6'3". You know what I'm saying? Like, how much can he really affect the game?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I just thought it was interesting. I didn't mean to kind of sidetrack stuff there, but I thought it was interesting. That guy said that either he's going to get traded or they're going to buy him out. Hell, what if he, well, I guess I was going to say Boston, but because I think Boston's going to look to make some moves. But again, their best players hurt, so that's probably a wrap. But I don't know. I think it's some moves to be made. I think the West. I'm looking through the West. The Clippers. I think the Clippers.
I
They
was
got
gonna
some.
say,
They
how
got.
much longer
Yeah,
are they married to
they got to
Kawhi?
blow that up. I think they got to blow that up over there personally.
We already seen if Kawhi. Okay, if Kawhi goes to Denver, you go put Kawhi over there with Joker.
So you give up Michael Porter and you give up Michael Porter Jr., another player, maybe some picks.
You give up.
It's got Michael Porter's definitely in the deal if I'm
You
going over
give
there.
up Michael Porter and Braun and
I
all
might.
your picks.
I mean, look, if I'm the
Nah,
Clippers, I would definitely look at that trade.
they're gonna want Jamal Murray.
I'm cool on Jamal Murray, because if we're getting rid of Kawhi, aren't we keeping James Harden? If
I
we're
think
getting
he
rid of
might.
Kawhi,
I think he might be gone too. I know he had a great,
okay.
or,
I'm just
or I know he had a great regular season. They might run it back with James just because in the regular season he held it down.
Yeah,
He
that's what
had
I'm saying. If
bad
we can
playoffs.
keep
He had
James.
a bad playoffs
We
though.
can keep James. We got Norman Powell, who played extremely well. Bring in a young boy who hopefully he'll be hungry now. Michael Porter, Braun, like you said, who can play. Big Z. Oh shit, what happened? Oh, my computer beat. You got big fella who's playing extremely well down low for you.
Zubac,
Um,
Zubac
Zubac.
played extremely
So
well.
I think they could be right there, man. But like you said, they do need some youth though over there in with the Clippers. They need some youth bad. They really
Some
need
youth,
youth. Yeah,
sure.
they need
Yeah.
youth. Yeah, they
So
need youth.
I think the West overall is wide open. I think it's gonna be a fun free agency. I mean, shout out this year. It was a down year overall, I would say, for the NBA, just because the style of basketball that now these teams play. I think as the playoffs went on, the first couple rounds was really fun, and then the Knicks, all the drama and that with the Eastern Conference Finals, that was fun. But I think overall, eh, the league next year we get some refreshing. They change. They go back to NBC. It'll be kind of fun to see how they tweak it and what's going to be different. But overall, I think the NBA has got to do something. The in season tournament ain't cutting it. That ain't it. That wasn't the answer. I think something needs to be done. They got to find a better way to kind of market the product. Kind of get the attention more than just bring streamers and have them on the sideline. Don't go bring Casanat and think that's gonna make us care more. They got to do something. It might be the physicality taken
I
away
was
from
just
it.
gonna say, guys got to be healthy, bro. Like, we wanted to see Wemby this whole season. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming guys for getting injured, but we like that's a part of the problem. Like we want to see Wemby, you know, we want to see Zion. You know what I'm saying? We want to see these guys, and these guys are constantly hurt, not in the lineup, out of the game. Now you get all these guys. How many? We had 3 guys this postseason tear their Achilles. I don't. That's got to be a record.
So Dame, Jason Tatum, and now Halliburton.
Yeah. Like, and it's like all 3 of them knew that something was going on. It wasn't like they didn't know. They knew it was something going on. It was a possibility. So we had 3 all NBA level guys, not all NBA level, 3 all NBA players tore their Achilles this year and might miss next season. And we're talking about a product to where we're trying to make sure we got the eyes, make sure that things up to date. And, you know, God bless OKC. They just won a championship tonight, but they don't have a player that's must-see TV.
Right.
Like SGA won MVP. He deserved it. But is he really must? Like, Rock, if SGA come to town, is that like a team? Like, man, I got to watch him tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he ain't really, you know what I'm saying? As great as he is, he ain't like, man, I got to get that ticket tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
And even what we was talking about, you want the smoke, you want the storylines. It ain't really everything's too friendly. And I guess even with like SGA, for example, he ain't rash enough. You know, it's all too, the kids would say aura, but you know, it's all too much nonchalantness. Yeah. So like even with OKC, next year, all the teams that they beat, you don't feel it ain't nobody where you're like, man, I know next year when OKC face Minnesota, that's gonna be a fight. Like, it's none of that. Like, if anything, okay, it might be New York and Indiana. Like, they might be creating a little something there. You know what I'm saying? I think New York and Boston kind of created a little something there. Yeah. But it ain't really nothing. You look like, even right now, like looking early on with summing up these playoffs, it's no really like must watch games where like, okay, you remember back when Kawhi and them first got traded to the Clippers, every single time the Lakers and the Clippers played, it was like, all right, we watching this. Like, Lakers play the Clippers tonight. We got to see, you know what I'm saying? It was drama a lot of times. It's like looking forward to next year, even with KD getting traded to Houston. You would like to think that Houston-Phoenix game is one to circle. I remember with you, when Luka got traded to the Lakers, you was like,
go watch that game. Yeah.
When he go back to Dallas, I need to be there. It's none of that. Even right now, like what team do you feel like right now got smoked with OKC and say, man, I can't wait to get them next year. We gonna get them. Like, it's none of that. It's just kind of like, yeah, y'all won. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, you're right though. Like, Anthony Edwards didn't even seem like he was, you know, I mean, he wasn't happy they lost, but he didn't go, you know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like there was no smoke. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, yeah. So no, I'm with you. It's that's what I'm saying. It's like you look at these teams, like, for as good as like, I'm just looking through the NBA right now. For as good as Donovan Mitchell is, he ain't really must see. Celtics, they ain't got nobody that's really must see. The Knicks, no. Indiana, Milwaukee, okay. Depending on how you feel about Giannis, you might want to see Giannis play. You know what I'm saying? If he comes to town, you like, okay, Giannis. Detroit, I like the young bull over there, but there ain't nobody that you missing. That's another. We missed Detroit. Let me put Detroit in there on that sleepers list for the East as well. I think they might have gotten some valuable playoff experience. They can tweak some stuff and be scary too, though, next year, Detroit.
Yeah.
Your Orlando Magic, although you know me, I'm on record. I think by the time the next Olympics roll around, Ben Caro gonna be the best U.S. player in the league. But right now, you know, I can skip them. Miami, no. Atlanta, no. Chicago, no. Toronto, Brooklyn, Philly, Charlotte, Washington. Nobody in the East that you just gotta see.
Mm-mm.
In the West, Luka and LeBron play on the same team. I ain't gonna lie. Even if I wasn't necessarily a fan, I might want to go see that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right,
Luka and
right.
LeBron.
You would want to see that. Yeah. You want to see Ant. You want to see Ja.
I want to see.
That's what
I want to see Steph. If
Steph.
Steph coming to town, I want to see what Steph gonna do tonight.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? But that's pretty much it. I mean, I take that back. Give you one more. I do want to see Wemby, just because it's
You
Wemby. You
want to
got
see
to look at him,
Wemby.
7'5".
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the team a lot of people thought KD would have went if he would have came to Texas. They thought it was going to be San Antonio, because now you pair him with Wemby over there. Because see, I like that better than the Houston Rockets lineup that they have. If you telling me I got a veteran point guard who's still young and De'Aaron Fox, plus I got Wemby who's 7'5" and can do a whole lot of stuff. Now I throw KD in there, a bona fide bucket. Man, I can fill these holes with that. You know, I like that better. Like I would have put them as right there as a contender if he would have went there. Houston, we'll see. We'll see.
You crazy.
Shout out to my city, man. Shout out to my city. It's a parade inside my city. Yeah, it's a parade. What if New Orleans? You think New Orleans might move on from Zion?
I think New Orleans moves on from Zion. I think they got some pieces out there. I think they said Murphy might be the only untouchable for real over there. I think Murphy and what's my boy, the two guard that play defense. What's his name?
What are you talking about?
New Orleans Pelicans. Let's see. The two guard that play good D over there.
Alvarado's the point guard. That's the little. Who are you talking about?
Herb Jones.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, those are the two guys on the young contracts that they got.
They are shopping guys.
Yeah, I think Zion and CJ McCollum are the two trade bait.
The guy. I don't know what he's making, but he's a guy. If you can bring him in again, kind of to
CJ
that.
can help anybody. 18 a game.
Yeah, well, he averaged 21 this year. It was on a bad team, so to your point, he's on a horrible team, averaging 21. So if he goes to a good team, 17 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's a
CJ
shooter.
in Golden State would help.
Who?
Even though that ain't really getting younger, CJ in Golden State.
He's definitely a more consistent shooter than
well, and I'm just looking at their style of ball.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get
he's off the ball and coming off them screens like he was in Portland. I think that's where I think in New Orleans they needed him to handle the ball too much, and that kind of
Zion's gonna be an interesting piece if he gets moved though, because when you see that the talent's still there with him, it's just a matter of a fit at this point, or maybe he's done. I don't know. Let's go. Before we get out here tonight, though, Ross, grade this NBA season as it comes to an end tonight. I know you said you was a little bit disappointed. What letter grade would you give the season this year overall?
C. Low C. 70. C. 71. Yeah. I think it took us a while to care at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, the Luka going to the Lakers.
I think that's when people started paying attention.
Kind of saved
when Luka got traded.
That kind of saved it. The way it was so tight to the end, to where all the teams had to play towards the end of the year. I would say the play-in, even though we kind of are critical about it, the play-in has made it to where the teams really got to play to the end. So that was a good thing. Yeah, they got a problem. They got an injury problem. Guys not coming in shape. They got a problem with that. I think, like we said, the in-season tournament, it ain't really hitting the way they wanted it to hit. Of course, we all talked about how bad All-Star and all that stuff, we really don't care about. So they got to find a way to get people for them first 40 games to lock in. And then I think they got to find a way to really get people to want to sit down and enjoy the playoffs like we used to,
Yeah.
I think with the highlights and with social media, you got all the highlights and stuff on your phone. So like it's hard to really like try and convince the kids like, nah, it's the playoffs. Watch the play. Like
Yeah,
they just wait for Bleacher Report to post some House of Highlights to post some
yeah,
clips. Like you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So
No, I'm
yeah.
with you. I think a C is a fair grade for this year. Um, NBA got a superstar problem, a twofold superstar problem because they do have superstars currently. The problem is all of them are old guys. LeBron, KD, Steph. You know what I'm saying? All these guys are old. And then the other two guys that are in their prime that are superstars are foreign and don't really move the needle domestically. You know what I'm saying? And that's Giannis and that's Luca. I'm sorry, Giannis and Joker. Um, those two are still the two, even though SGA just won MVP, those two guys to me are the two best players in the world. I personally, I got uh, Giannis as the best player in the world. I think he just does more all across the board, especially defensively. But they got a superstar problem, and then they got a health problem now too. The Achilles, I think they got a. I got a lot of homeboys. They got theories. Some would say it's the shoes. Everybody's wearing these low cut shoes. There's no support. Um, all the way around the foot, the ankle. Some of these kids I see out here, they don't even tie their shoes up when they play. That's a weird thing. Like I'm a dude in high school. I tore all the ligaments in my left ankle my freshman year, and then I tore all the ligaments in my right ankle my sophomore year. So I had to start wearing ankle braces as my freshman year. I started wearing ankle braces, um, and I bring that up because it made me cognizant of the type of shoes that I was buying because I had want to make sure I had support to support this. And if it is a shoe thing with everybody wearing a more low cut shoe, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what the science is behind it, but it is something. Because you remember when Kobe came back from his Achilles and this motherfucker had, shout out to my guy Kobe, my favorite player of all time. This nigga had on a damn shoe that came all the way up to his knee. Remember he came back with that shoe?
I
He
remember
came
those.
back,
I had a pair.
yeah, man, with them high boys. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, so he understood that there was something to be said about,
It was like a boxing shoe.
yes, it did. That's exactly what it looked like, a boxing shoe. Um, so I say that to say, man, I don't know what needs to be done, but Nike does a lot. Most of their shoes that are sold are probably, or not probably, are basketball shoes or basketball related shoes. So somebody got to get the NBA Players Association. Somebody got to get with them on this technology and figure it out because I think it may be a shoe thing. And let's figure out what we need to go back to because the superstar problem and the injury problem ain't going away. And the last thing I would say is they got an off season problem. And in the off season, I mean, you know how they post all these videos of these cats hooping? It's such whack basketball. It's just a guy that's just doing the move. It's nobody really playing defense. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a little shell defense. We kind of just standing here. We'll give you a little look, but you can go ahead and do your move and get your ish off. That's not helping anybody get better, bro. How many off seasons did we see Ben Simmons shooting threes and he coming to the season and don't do nothing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got Mitchell Robinson posting his tape from the off season where he out there getting buckets. He can't hit the backboard on the free throw come the season. So they got an off-season problem in the NBA. Everybody's too cool for school. Like you said, the kids, the aura. Everybody want to have aura. SGA, I said tonight, I might be done with SGA. He plays too cool for me. He's the king cool guy. Everything is just as if he just can't get dirty, get his neck. It's just So we'll see, man. You know me, I'm an NBA diehard. I love basketball, but I do recognize that there are some things they got to clean up. There's some things they got to clean up. Hell, the WNBA probably got more pubs than they did this season.
Right.
WNBA,
But you know why? Because there's smoke. There's smoke in the WNBA.
Agreed.
We love smoke. That's why every year we want to see Pittsburgh versus the Ravens. We want to see Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen. We want to see Lamar Jack. You go look at all the most watched games. It's some smoke in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even for the league, like do better with the games you put on TV. We don't want to watch these games that you're forcing us to watch because you want to tell us we should care about Tyrese Halliburton. You know what I'm saying? Like, put the right games on, go back to scheduling. You know, when the Lakers and the LeBron versus Kawhi, when you had that, I guess all these kids are friends, and there really ain't nothing to build on like that. They got to let the game be a little bit more physical. They got to kind of allow these guys to. That's why I always stand on the side of supporting Ant and Ja, because like it or not, those are the ones who really like they show some personality. They're gonna be the reason why you choose to want to watch. When like it or not, when Ja did the grenade celebration, you know what I'm saying? We locked in to see, okay, let's see if he do it again.
Right.
When
That's a
you
fact.
know what I'm saying, when Ant come out and say, I want to guard Kyrie, we made sure we want to watch that game because I want to see
Yep.
what Kyrie gonna do to you. You know what I'm saying? You need some of that. So yeah, I think the couple guys that do it and that are invested in making it and you know, a watchable event, like we got to take it a little easy on those guys, because like you say, like this whole being too cool for school thing, it yeah, they ain't gonna like it when we start watching and they gotta give some of that money back.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. All right, man. We get up out of here on that note. It's NFL time now, though, Ross. It's big boy season. It's time to get to this NFL smoke, dog. So we'll get to that, man. We'll probably come back. We'll be back on Tuesday. I'm sure we'll do a little bit more NBA wrap up. We'll see what else they got going on as well with the offseason. Who knows who's gonna get moved, who's gonna get traded. Got the draft coming up as well. Pretty much we all know Cooper Flagg's going to Dallas unless they make some move and trade something, but I don't see it happening. Cooper Flagg appears to be one of those ones, so we'll see what happens with that. And then, like I said, we're getting into the NFL. So it's that time of the year, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay tapped in with us. Anything else before we get out here, Ross?
That's it, man.
That's it, man. That's it. Another
Thunder,
NBA
man.
season in the
OKC.
book. Thunder up. They finally get that elusive chip. That's it.